Oh, just burnt myself. Whew. America. Hi. I went to the Philippines last month and I got pretty sick there, and I'm just going to talk about that whole experience because it's not fun when you get sick on the other side of the world and you don't know what's wrong. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat, it wasn't anything serious. I didn't die. Thought I might. Let me give you a little backstory. I went to the Philippines last year. My best friend, Eunice, lived there. She graduated from school. This year we went, well, I went last year for her graduation, but this year we went for vacation. We went island hopping. I went to Palawan and Davao and Cebu, Leyte, someplace else, Malpascua. I went everywhere and it was so much fun. It was so much traveling. I was on a plane or an overnight boat every other day. It was wild. Last year when I went, within the first couple of days, my stomach was starting to not be able to keep food inside of it. But that only lasted a couple of days. I just was a little bit more cautious with what I was eating, and it went away, and I had a good time the rest of the trip. This time, my stomach was fine the entire first week, and I had even forgotten that I'd gotten kind of sick, I guess you could say, just like had an upset stomach. I totally forgot that happened to me last time I went. And then a week in, almost exactly a week in, my stomach started to hurt a lot. And I was like, okay, this happened to me last year. First happened in the beginning, but I guess this year it's just happening to me later because, you know, the food isn't as clean over there. You have to drink bottled water. It's just, you have to be a little bit more careful, especially with being so used to the food in America. You just really have to be more careful with the food someplace like the Philippines. And I thought I was being kind of careful. I mean, not really. I mean, I was just eating whatever people were giving me or cooking, you know. I was just eating a lot of beef, kind of like a beef stew with like carrots, a lot of tuna I was having in the beginning, just different kinds of fish, sashimi I had a couple times. I don't know, think about that. A lot of rice. I mean, obviously, like, a lot of rice. By the second week, I could not stomach rice. I just couldn't do it. I don't know exactly where I got sick. I'm thinking it must have been one of my last days in Palawan. We went to Palawan for 3 days, and I think this is where I got sick. I wound up getting 2 different bacterial infections. I got E. coli, which is food poisoning. Not fun. And I got Campylobacteriosis, a bacterial infection that affects the intestinal tract and rarely the blood. Ooh, yikes. Most cases are seen in the summer months and may occur as single cases or outbreaks. Wow, I wonder if I was part of an outbreak. Basically, you get this from drinking or eating contaminated food or water. Occasionally, you can get it from people or animals that also have it. So don't go touching any wildlife. Don't go drinking ice cubes. Water with ice. See, when they said bottled water, I was always just thinking, well, can't I just drink purified water? No. I don't know if they purify the ice cubes that they put in water cups when you, like, go out to eat, let's just say. I didn't have any water with ice cubes in Palawan, and that's where my sickness started. I was usually just drinking only bottled water. I did, however, after I started feeling really sick, have a couple of glasses of water with ice, but at that point, I was already feeling sick. And I just feel like it was from the food. Everyone told me, even like the health professional. I got this paper because they called me and they gave me a mini interview basically asking what I ate and how I felt and my symptoms and everything like that, because they were trying to keep track of where I got it, where I live now, how we think that I got it. I guess this is how people know about all these breakouts, is people get sick, they go to the doctors, I don't know, report it or something, and then people call you and they interview you, so I got that. They didn't ask really much about the E. coli, they only wanted to know about the Campylobacteriosis. I guess that's worse, or more like on the rise, I'm not sure. But I had both. Palawan, 3 days. Okay, so the first 2 days we went on really long boat rides. We were island hopping, we went to all these cool different islands, swimming a lot, snorkeling a lot. It was awesome. But we had lunch on the beach twice, and we had shrimp. I don't even want to think about it because that was just like the beginning of me getting sick. We had a lot of seafood, a lot of rice, only bottled water, lots of swimming in the water though, and I don't know what happened, but yeah, 2 days, 2 very long boat rides, both food being cooked on the boat, brought off the boat, like carried off the boat in the water onto the shore, and then we would eat that. The second day we were there, we had to go all the way back 6 hours south to catch a plane the next day, but we were also going to this really cool place, the Underground River, and that is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. It was really incredible. That was supposed to be the highlight of our trip. We were all very excited to do that, and that was the day I was the absolute sickest. Is that the word? That was the day I was at my most sick. I had the worst stomach pains. Oh my gosh. And they weren't down low. Like, I'm used to having stomach pains down low with like an achy stomach. They were up high. Oops. They were up higher. It just didn't feel right. I was gassy. So like whenever I would burp, it tasted like blood kind of was in my throat. It was a weird unnatural feeling. I thought maybe it was like, not acid reflux, because I know that's what you have over a long period of time, but just like feeling like I had like acid or something in there. And yeah, it just tasted like a weird mixture of blood and I don't even know what. And so I had all that going on, and we were still on the move. We had to do a 2.5-hour van ride to the actual place, the dock, where you get on a boat to bring you to the Underground River, which you then have to wait online. I took a nap. I was laying down. They have benches outside. I fell asleep, I think. Then you get on the canoe and you go through this whole underground river. It was so cool. There was bats everywhere. Huge stalagmites and stalactites and columns. And I felt actually fine the whole time we were inside the cave. Like, I felt pretty okay. And the worst part of the day was at the end. Ooh, my papers are flying. At the end, there was a buffet that was included in the price of the whole entire excursion. And I was so sick. I couldn't eat. I mean, I had a bottle of Coke to, you know, settle my stomach, because that was the only thing that I had. There was no medicine or anything. Put my head down because I was so exhausted. My stomach was killing me. And I could feel something brewing, you know, and I mean, like, the bathrooms over there are not that clean. There's usually no toilet paper. You're lucky if the water runs. Basically, it's just a really bad place to get that sick in. Everyone around me was like, oh, you're not eating, why aren't you eating? You know, her mom was gonna take food home for me. Eunice was like, you should probably eat a little bit. Could not eat, did not want to. I was very upset. Like, I love buffets, especially in a foreign country. Like, come on, so unfair. Then we get on the bus, or the van, and I nearly shit myself. I am not even kidding. And then we do the 2.5-hour bus ride back. And I knew, I was like, you have to either fall asleep or shit yourself. And so I was out like a light. And that normally doesn't happen. And I pretty much slept the entire way back. That was like the one thing my body just came through for me was just falling asleep rather than shitting myself in that fucking van. And it was actually a really funny side note on the way there. So her mom and her taught me this saying, or not saying, but like words in Filipino, the sentence, and it's "Hoy, lmao," and you have to say it like that because that's how they say it, and it sounds ridiculous when I do it, or like "Hoy, lmao," like something like that. And they just had me saying that for everybody, like every single family member, every single friend that I met, I had to say that for. And so I said it for this van, and they all died laughing, and that gave me some strength to go forward. That was the last day we were in Palawan, and that was my absolute most sick day. And then I would feel okay. And then I would feel sick again, and then I would feel okay. But in between all that, we had another trip. Eunice, her boyfriend, and me went to a place called Lmao. That's where I jumped off the waterfall. I was fine the day we went there because that was a 3-hour bus ride, and probably because I had a lot of Coke and rum the night before. Yeah, I drank a lot. Maybe that had something to do with it. But the day we left, once again, the day we left Mall, I was super sick and my stomach was just killing me. It just hurt so bad. Like, I went to the bathroom every other second. But my stomach was empty. Like, my stomach was not even putting anything out. Okay, I'm not gonna get too graphic. Basically, I was running out of stuff to secrete from my body, but it just wanted to keep going. We bought medicine from this shop on the side of the road. It helped. We got on the bus, and at first we were standing, which sucked, and then two little old ladies let me sit with them, and then seats started to open up, so we eventually all got to sit down. But I was just trying to sleep. They had Jurassic Park on, the newest one. I was watching those and listening to music, and then occasionally sleeping. And then we went to the mall, and that was my second to last day there. And in the 2 days I was there, I only had 2 Caesar salads, oddly enough. And now I love Caesar salad. I've just totally regained my love for Caesar salad. And then we had to fly home. And the day we flew home, I felt fine. I was totally okay. And thank God, because it's a 5.5-hour flight to Cebu, 15 hours from Shanghai to New York. And then 2 days later, after being sick and sleeping my entire weekend in New York, I didn't get to eat anything. I had 2 slices of pizza, and I barely could even eat that. Oh, sorry, I had 4 slices of pizza, because the night I got there, I felt good, and we had pizza. And then I was sick, and I couldn't do anything, and it sucked. And then I had to fly, which I did not feel good that day. And then I had to fly from New York to Chicago, Chicago to South Dakota. An hour car ride home, and then I went to the clinic. I immediately went to the clinic. They were like, you know, your vitals are okay, you seem like you're fine, it's probably nothing, it's probably gonna pass, you know, just a lot of traveling and a lot of eating different foods, you're probably okay. And I was like, okay, I kind of knew something wasn't right. You just know. It's weird when people say that, but when you know, you just, whatever, you just know that something's not right with your body. And they said, give it till Wednesday, because the only thing that they could do was really do a stool exam, and obviously you don't have to do that for no reason. And I was like, alright, let me see if I can last till Wednesday, and then I'll do the stool exam if I have to. Tuesday, I am sick as a dog. I had to miss work. I was sleeping the entire day, couldn't eat, gassy as ever. Oh my gosh, it was just, I didn't know that my body could produce such a stench. Oh my god. That was scary. I was really sick. I could barely stand up. Like, I was lightheaded, and I had to lie down the entire day. I think I waited until Wednesday. I don't remember when. One of those days. They were both a blur. I called the clinic and I was like, hey, something is wrong. I want to take the stool exam. And I just felt the whole time like they thought I was being dramatic, and they thought I was making it up, you know? Not making it up, but I don't know. I just felt like they thought I was being dramatic. So I do the stool exam. It was gross, but not as bad as you'd think, honestly. Send that in, and then the next day or so, yeah, the next day, they call me. Well, they call my sister, actually, because I was at work, and I put her down as an emergency contact, and we just happened to be, like, outside chilling. We work together. Her phone rings, and they ask for me, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, because they had called my phone, like, a couple of times. And she was like, hey, so you have E. coli? And then she said Campylobacteriosis, and I had no idea what she said. I was like, bacteria? What is that? And she repeated it, but I still could not remember it. And so for a while I didn't even remember what I had. And basically she was just like, so this is what you have, and obviously we're going to treat you immediately. That night I went and picked up my antibiotics. They weren't even that bad. Like, I actually stopped taking them, which is not good. I'm okay, because a lot of these things also cure themselves within a couple of days, and so I took the antibiotics for a week or so. You had to take a 1.5 in the morning, wait 12 hours, 1.5 at night. You couldn't have dairy 2 hours before or after taking the pill. And so now I just have this weird thing about dairy where I'm just kind of more cautious about eating dairy, but I still have yogurt every single day and ice cream, and I like cereal, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess I just feel a bit weird when I do have dairy. But I still have it. And yeah, so that's what I wound up having. I survived E. coli and Campylobacteriosis. I'm a trooper. That's the time that I got really sick for a week and a half from drinking, I don't even know, or eating, I don't even know. I just got sick. I got bacteria all up in me. Thanks for watching, guys. If you take anything away from this video, just take away the lesson of not having any ice cubes on your trip, because Lord knows what kind of water that is, and what's floating inside of it could be E. coli, could be Campylobacteriosis. I don't know, just to name a few. Better than malaria, because for a hot minute I was like, do I have malaria? I did find 2 bug bites on me. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.